Good?
Yep.
Welcome, Negronis with Nord, episode 37. I think we had a little break. We maybe didn't have an episode there for a week. I'm sure everyone was waiting with bated breath, sitting around, yelling, screaming, where is Negronis with Nord? I need my insights. They are here, don't worry. I'm back. It has been exceptionally busy in like a fun, hectic way, but I have been doing a decent amount of traveling. I'm off to LA tomorrow morning at 7 a.m., which is a hateful, terrible time to fly out. But at least I get to fly to the Sunset Tower, you know, my new favorite place in California, which is just the footprint of that hotel. I basically will not leave that hotel other than to get into the Uber and go to a meeting and then get into an Uber and go to the airport. Before we get into some questions and some analysis this week, I want to talk about AI. If you follow venture capital, Twitter at all, AI is the new Web3. Web3 was the new creator economy. You know, we get these kind of trends in investment and in focus and in what the future of the internet is going to be. And there's been a lot of focus on these image generators using AI. Now, I decided to finally try one of these out. You upload 15 to 20 photos of yourself. It trains an AI model and then spits out about 50 images of you, which we can have Aaron put up here, ranging from like pretty photorealistic, normal portraits of you to things that kind of look paintingly to like me as Iron Man and like a Scottish warlock or something. So kind of funny, kind of interesting, kind of scary. There's broader implications about content creation and social. You know, I've always felt like virtual influencers and AI influencers was like shit, and like beyond the few that have gained a following, there's not a lot of future there. But, you know, UGC is increasingly a big focus for brands. We've been getting a lot more interest from brands around UGC, around working with UGC creators. I've been seeing more and more people in their profiles say they're a UGC creator. I got to thinking in a couple of years, you know, if these AI generators can start to spit out more photorealistic output, that brands would be able to upload images of their product and then AI would create fake content using the product, be it clothes or makeup or whatever it might be. That is like a potential place to watch. Ultimately, I think that like AI is good at copying things, right? You train it, you give it 1,000 images and it learns how to make images that are variations of the ones that you uploaded. Now, it can't yet make creative leaps and create something new and interesting and different. Ultimately, even if AI starts to be a bigger player in content creation and the influencer space, being really creative or having a really specific point of view is going to be one way to kind of hedge against that. But there is some concern, and there's a lot of pushback right now in the artistic community, digital artists specifically, whose art has been stolen to train AI, and this AI is now exporting images that look like their art, but they're not getting paid for it, and they have no way to sue or anything like that. And so again, there's a world where AI could be trained to look like an influencer, but not exactly like that it could then create photorealistic images that are almost identical to that influencer, but aren't that influencer and they don't have to pay you. So there's a reason everybody's afraid of AI. You know, it is a kind of potential world-ending technology, but certainly before AI ends up like killing all of us and taking over and we become slaves to it, the bigger concern is its potential to take over creative industries and really impact some people's ability to make money. So I would go play with one of these tools, have a go at it. One, it's just kind of fun and funny and interesting, but also gives you maybe a glimpse into the future that is a little concerning and scary and something to watch out for. Speaking of the future, also there is a crazy amount of shit happening in social media right now. The last 2 weeks on Twitter have been truly unhinged. We first had earnings come out, and we've got Meta's stock trading at 2015 levels, which is crazy, trading at $100 a share. You know, Snapchat way down, YouTube missing earnings, Google off the mark. So tech stocks and social media stocks in general are getting absolutely decimated. And then you've got Elon finishing his purchase of Twitter and all of the chaos that is ensuing there. And it has caused a lot of people to talk about, you know, is this the end of social, kind of? And they're talking about it a bit as far as like, is this the end of the social era of the internet? Like, of these platforms being dominant. When you think about technology, you think about social media and that kind of being, you know, where a lot of innovation and focus and venture capital dollars are focused. Is this the end of it in some way because of how much value Facebook has lost, to Meta rather? You know, I think that one, you know, thought leaders on Twitter need to like always make up some shit to talk about. Ultimately, it's a bit of an exaggeration. Meta's stock price is not tied to their cultural significance. Just 2 weeks ago, Instagram had its best download week ever in the history of the app. Usage is way up. Reels viewership is up 50% in the last 3 months or something. Engagement across the board is up on Meta's apps. Obviously, TikTok continues to do really well. We've got Be Real out there still chugging along, doing well. While these stocks are being hit, I think it's important, if you hear any conversation like this, it's important to make sure we separate the cultural impact of these apps with their stock price. The stock market has increasingly become detached from any sort of fucking reality. You know, the fact that, again, Facebook is trading where it is. I mean, Facebook still makes $150 million an hour. Let me just fact check myself real quick. Hold on. Facebook is still making over $13 million an hour. Yeah, $117 billion last year. So, you know, these companies are very much alive. The stock market is in a really weird place. Twitter went private because Twitter is incapable of actually turning that into a realistic business. To give you a sense of scale as well, and not to get into any sort of conversation about tech stocks and all this shit, but I think Twitter made like $5 billion last year and Facebook made $117 billion. Elon taking Twitter private has more to do with Elon's ego and the, you know, power owning Twitter will give him, and the fact that Twitter has been an underperforming stock for the better part of a decade, and less to do with any great end of social media and its relevance in society. So take what you hear on the internet with a grain of salt. That is probably good advice, no matter what the subject is. So please send in questions. We've got 2 in the bank that we were going to answer this week, but then I got off on an AI tangent. We're going to get to those next week, but continue to please send questions, and we'll see you soon. Okay, there's also been, is it Spagliato? People have been asking me, what do I think of the Negronis Spagliato with Prosecco? I don't think about it, first of all. I am a purist, you know? Nothing pisses me, okay, this is a side note, but nothing really pisses me off quite like when you order a drink at a restaurant, a classic cocktail, right? And they have some stupid spin on it that they do, and they bring it to you, and you taste it, and you're like, this is not what I ordered. And they're like, oh, that's our Negroni. It's like, no, you don't get a Negroni. A Negroni is a Negroni. But like, if I ask for a Negroni, I want 1 part gin, 1 part sweet vermouth, 1 part Campari, ice, slice of orange. That's fucking it, nothing else. Anyway, so everyone's drinking these things because people on TikTok are. You know, the problem for me is, much like an Aperol Spritz, beautiful drink. Visually, I find it to be too sweet. Negroni is pretty bitter, but already has sweet vermouth, so I feel like if you took the gin out and added Prosecco, for me, it would just be too sweet. But maybe we'll try it next week. We can taste test it live on the show, and I can join the trend and be like one of the kids. Good?